From the moment we're born, we all have these huge dreams for ourselves, whether we want to be professional athletes, huge influencers, actors, YouTubers. We have these huge aspirations for ourselves. But it gets to a point that if I was to encourage someone to go for their dreams, they would automatically just start giving reasons as to why they can't and reasons as to why it's just not possible anymore. It's not the right time. Even though you're in like your mid 20s, early 20s, and there's no reason that we can't do it, but it just gets to a point that without even knowing it, we all decide that we're not going to chase our dreams anymore. How come? One of the main reasons is that comfort is so much more addicting than pain. Pain is obviously a horrible feeling. We hate it. You get shot in the foot, you're like, ah, fuck, you hate it. But comfort is one of those things that you don't realize it's killing you, but it's such a slow killer. But in the moment, it's so addictive. Comfort is knowing exactly what's going to happen, having 100% predictability of what's going to happen, or 99% predictability of what's going to happen. You're in a situation that you've been in before. The shit that's going on, you've been seen before. You already know what's going on. So it's a lot easier to stay in that position than to try to put yourself in a position of learning new things or understanding new things that you've never seen before, coming across situations you've never seen before. And that's obviously hard. You're going to have to learn new things. Learning is obviously painful. And then that puts you in a situation that you'd rather go back and revert to your old habits and just be comfy than transcend, chase dreams, and experience a little bit of pain. Even when we try to become comfortable with pain, it's something that we never really become comfortable with. So let's say you give yourself a task of every single day you want to do something uncomfortable. You're going to become comfortable with those things which were once uncomfortable, and then you're going to have to push yourself even further to make uncomfortable things comfortable. If you're really doing something that's uncomfortable for you, it's never comfortable. Just like in business, you're always going to have to scale. You're constantly growing. You're doing something different all the time. And that's one of the things that might cause people to not be consistent. They start with pushing themselves, but after maybe a month of doing it, it doesn't get any easier if you're doing it properly. You're still pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself. And then it gets to a point that you're just like, what am I doing? Should I just stop? But at the end of the day, no real dreams are ever made from being comfortable. Every single person who has achieved something insane or something beyond the scope of a normal person did not do what the normal person does. They obviously did things beyond the scope of what a normal person does to reach the results beyond what a normal person receives, if that makes sense. There's also the thought that people don't hate their lives enough to actively go make the change. It's called the region B hypothesis, the recent region B theorem, like region beta, beta. The English would be like beta, region beta. But it's the region beta hypothesis. It's like that people are only willing to make change in their life. Actually, no, sorry, scrap that. It's the region beta hypothesis at its smallest form is like saying that if something is closer than a kilometer, I will walk. If it's further than a kilometer, I will drive. But that's negating the fact, itchy leg. That's negating the fact that in the time it takes you to walk a kilometer there and back, you could have driven there, done what you need to do, and driven back, and just the time it takes you to drive there. So it's understanding that you don't have to be in a worse situation to make things better for yourself. Like some people are like, the apartment I live in has moldy roofs and I am overpaying for it and it honestly is not the best for myself and it's just a 1 bedroom and I low-key need an extra workspace, but it's in a good location and it has a gym in it, so like I'll stay. But that person would be better off if they were in a situation that they were way overpaying for their place, they were in a horrible location, because then they'd feel more inclined to make change. It's the same thing as how we kind of get comfortable with our lives. We take out loans, go to school, we come out, we work a job that we're able to pay our loans back. We're able to go on like 2 trips a year or maybe 1 trip a year, pay our loans back, and we have like another grand at the end of the year to ourselves. And that's more than enough for a lot of people. They're happy with that. And if that's you, that's fine. But a lot of people want more for themselves. But they would be better off when they were in a situation that they had nothing and they had to work into getting something than just being where they are, because that kind of makes them comfortable. And comfort is obviously the killer of success. But along with comfort being the killer of success, it's also the killer of urgency. Like Netflix, weed, alcohol, all these like quick dopamine habits that give us instant dopamine, they obviously are like in the moment good for us. And we need to do those things just to keep us sane and happy as humans, because we're all people at the end of the day. But after a certain point, you're just killing yourself. But after a certain point, you're killing your whole sense of urgency, and you're not really making decisions. You're just kind of going through with the flow of life and going with how things usually are. All these quick forms of dopamine are just like emotional anesthesia. Like, for example, my window is wide open, so I keep seeing people walk by and my head is like... But back to what I was saying. All these things are just like emotional anesthesia. So I smoke weed. Sometimes I notice that I'm smoking weed literally for no other reason besides the fact that, like, damn, it's been a long day. I don't want to think about this shit. Let me get high. Or down. But, like, every time, like, yeah, there are times that I'm just deep into exhaust smoking. I wake up, smoke weed as soon as I wake up, smoke weed middle of the day before I go to bed, and next day as soon as I wake up. If I wake up in the middle of the night, smoke a quick bowl, then go back to bed. And I notice that it's literally just emotional anesthesia for myself. There are things that I want for myself, and I have such high dreams for myself. And I'm like, I know there's so much for me in this world, but I literally just can't get myself to do it. And as a way to numb those thoughts, and instead of listening to myself and confronting the fact that I'm being lazy straight on and being comfortable and putting myself in situations that are not going to contribute to growth at all, instead of confronting that head on, and it's not a thought anymore, it's not an issue anymore, it's not a worry anymore, it's just blank. Not, you're a loser, you need to do better, you can do better, okay, you're not a loser, but you need to work on yourself, just nothing. Silence. And maybe sometimes for a lot of us, it would be better to just have to deal with those things head on and straight on, and really have to confront our thoughts and confront all the thoughts that we're choosing to not think about and choosing to not put right in front of us and look it straight in the eye. Sometimes we'd be better off just taking a pause, taking a little tea break. Even if, let's say you don't see yourself ever stopping smoking weed. Stop for a week. Give yourself a week of literally just thinking about life. Then go back to weed. Yeah, just take time to confront your thoughts straight on. Think about what you're thinking about and allow yourself to actually like process your thoughts, move on to the next. Let another thought come, process it, on to the next, instead of just like, oh, you know what I mean? And especially since a young age, as soon as we're in school, it's really just obedience that we're taught. If you talk about teachers talking, you're cooked. So what do? When are situations that we are taught to be comfortable is when teacher asks a question, you put your hand up, you get it wrong, oh, I'm cooked. And your teacher's like, no, it's okay, like, good, I like that you're answering even if it's wrong, keep answering. But then everybody in the class looking at you like, this idiot, bro, this nigga keep putting his hand up saying the wrong answer. And like sometimes the teacher can even contribute to it. As much as they say, yes, put your hand up, even if it's the wrong answer, any answer is a good answer. It's like sometimes they be looking at you like, that's a stupid ass answer. So what do? You notice that instead of taking the risk to go, it's better to just... Next time teacher says, oh, does anybody have any... No, maybe I'll just deal with it. I'll just figure it out. It's okay. I'll just sit here and be comfortable. I might get one question wrong. I'll still get a B+ instead of an A. And it's just those little subconscious thoughts translate into the rest of our lives. So it's not honestly all on us. From such a young age, we're like fed these thoughts and these ideas that we should be comfortable. There's like a mold that we should fit into. There's the normal way to do things. But as Alex Hormozi says, that's how you get normal results. And if you're watching this, we're in the same boat and we do not want regular results. We're different. But the only thing that I think honestly really solves this is a dopamine detox. A dopamine detox is when you go through an extended period of time just fixing your dopamine. I want to make another talking video just a little bit more in depth about this, but I'll go over it a little bit now to start. A dopamine detox is literally, you just eliminate all quick sources of dopamine. So like scrolling, cut it out. Masturbation, cut it out. Smoking weed, watching TV, or just like uncontrolled watching TV, binge eating, like everything is literally just controlled, and you control your sources of dopamine. So your sources of dopamine come from long form sources like reading a book or cooking a meal for yourself or going for a walk or going to the gym, getting a workout in, or just sitting and meditating. Those type of things are the things that are gonna slowly bring back your dopamine. Because I learned from Hamza actually, a fact checked, it is true. So let's say your dopamine levels are here. It all starts here, right? You do a bad habit and to like a quick dopamine habit, and it spikes your dopamine. But then when your dopamine returns, it doesn't go back to where it originally was. It drops even lower. And then you do that habit again, and it drops lower. You do that habit again, and it drops lower. You do that habit again, and it drops lower. And then you get to a point that you're at such a minimum baseline level of dopamine that you just like fucking have no urge. You just wake up. I've been there. You just wake up, you want to smoke weed. An hour passes, you go take a shit, you just want to lay there, watch soccer game, finish, play some video games, order some food, eat the food, play some video games, watch a basketball game, and then get super baked, order a pizza, and then go to bed because you're too fried, and then wake up the next morning and just do the same thing all over again. That promotes that cycle. But breaking the cycle is obviously it's gonna take a lot of change, and starts with the dopamine detox. I think, yeah, I'm gonna do some, because even for myself, I want to look into the dopamine detox a little more. We'll get back to that topic. But if there's anything I have to say, do your leads. Make sure you're fucking doing your lead generation. Make sure you're doing your fucking lead outreach. Make sure you're posting on IG. If you can, low-key post on YouTube. We'll talk about that soon. But if you can't, post on YouTube, and then chase your dreams. Please, 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 please. If there's one thing I want, bro, chase your dreams. Chase your dreams. I remember I'd work. The video's done. I used to work at Superstore. And when I worked there, literally the best, some of the best people, not the best people. There was one dude, his name is Devin Lilico. He's such a goat, man. If there's anyone that I'm like, this guy literally has like this guy should change the world or something, you know what I mean? But he's just okay. Not that it's bad for him at all, but he like stayed at Superstore for a long time. We worked the same position, but he was full-time. He obviously has like a bit more duties. He's allowed to put in orders, gets a bit more like management control. But like position-wise, we're the exact same position. We were just full-time, just produce workers, produce laborers. He was full-time, got a bunch of raises, stayed there for like 20 years, makes like, not crazy, but better than the average person. Probably a little over the average wage. And he's just comfortable there. He lives in an apartment. It's not married, no kids. Occasionally, he just got his little side things. He's like a good-looking guy. So he got his like side things that come in. He'd be to the next, to the next. His mom lives nearby, chills with her, super close with her, good relationship, has a bunch of money saved. He lives a calm life, but I'm like, please, you have to have dreams or something, bro. You gotta have like something more that you're reaching towards. And on the other side of things, I worked at Best Buy when I was in college, and another goat, man, his name is Luke Bontrager. He was a store assistant. He should be running shit by now, but he'll probably just be an assistant forever because that's the type of guy he is. But he's a store assistant lead. Pretty much runs the store. And he's also one of those people that I'm like, you can change the world, man. Like even just interacting with him. You know how there are people that are like you have positive influence on everyone that sees you. People come into the store, they like look for him. Like I can see through their eyes that their days are made. Literally just by like, oh yes, Luke, how's it going, man? I just came for a charger. I saw you today. How's it going, man? Like what's new with you? And I can tell that just that little interaction makes some people's days. And he's one of those people that I'm like, there's got to be something you're doing. But the more I talk to him, I obviously learned that he's super involved in this like youth group, and it's a part of his church. I'm obviously not religious, but still, it's a part of his church, and he's like super involved in the youth group. Has these kids that he does a bunch of events with. He like takes them out to a bunch of cool activities. They went to go watch his Team Canada basketball game once. They will go do group events. They'll do they'll you know what I mean. They just like do different things, and I can honestly see that's what makes him happy, and that's what he needs. That's what he should be doing. That's what someone like him should be doing. Obviously, it's not like bringing in billions of dollars for him, but there's a group of people that he's able to positively impact every day, and I think he's living his dream, to be honest. Even though he's not like super rich and successful, he's definitely successful, and he's living his dreams. And to everyone, I beg, just chase your dreams. Please chase your dreams. That's that tangent at the end is literally just please chase your dreams. Hold on.